Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Getting Shit Done, my new series where I tackle and finish forgotten or half-assed home improvement, DIY, and interior decorating projects while you watch me suffer, as well as succeed from the comfort of your own home. This episode will be part one of a two-part series where we finally finish creating the arcade of our stupid little dreams. We've always joked about having an arcade in our house since my husband and I both love video games so much. And since we already have a game room upstairs, we were fine with not having another room that would be so similar. Plus, there's no way we could fit a bunch of arcade machines in our house. It is old, and the rooms are smaller than most newer constructions, and it would have been too cramped. But things change quickly when it comes to technology, and with the uptick of interest in all things retro, nostalgia was at an all-time high. A few years ago, several companies came out with arcade solutions for the average person that would actually fit in a smaller space. Would it be as cool as having the original arcade or a pinball machine? Of course not. But it would be better on our wallets and fit in our space much easier than the OG ones. Of course, just like every room in our home when we moved in, this room was a blank slate. It was also a strange space, as it was originally a bedroom, and when the house was flipped before we purchased it, they carved out the wall and made it part of the extremely open concept living dining area downstairs. This room has gone through many different transformations over the years, from a simple sitting room with a record player to more of a bar and hangout space, to what it is now, which is a half-finished arcade that is also used for storage and collecting dust. To date, we have already painted one of the walls black and hung up a cool tapestry of the interior of an arcade. We also purchased some authentic glow-in-the-dark carpet that you might find in an arcade or bowling alley and installed it. We also have about 4 of the arcade one-up machines, a candy machine we purchased for our MST3K wedding a few years ago, a snow cone maker, and a jukebox, which is not operational yet, but hopefully will be by year-end. Several months ago, I had found a listing on Facebook Marketplace for old storefront letters that someone was getting rid of. I asked if they had enough letters for the word arcade, and they said yes, so I drove out to Vista and bought them. Okay, great. Now I had the letters, but what do I need to do with them to make them into a sign? And a lighted sign at that. First, I decided I needed to draw up a concept. So I went through several different versions, but finally settled on this one. I think it turned out pretty good. Great! Now I know what I want it to look like, but how in the hell do I make the damn sign? I mean, I had a rough idea in my head and now a vision, but didn't know how to get it to work or if it would even work at all. I remember watching a video on YouTube around Halloween where someone was making gravestones for their yard. They had used this pink foam board from Home Depot that was used for insulation. It was easy to cut and easy to shape. And after removing the electronics from the letters, they would basically just be plastic, so the heft would be minimal, and the foam could support it. So I started with that. I went to Home Depot, bought 6 pieces of the foam board, some Gorilla Glue, and then used some toothpicks and wooden skewers we had at the house. Hi. Once that is done, then we can go ahead and figure out where we're going to put like all the lights, all the LED lights that'll come through on the back to light the sign. And I bought this peel and stick paper to put over the top of it, which will kind of like finish everything around the edges and on top, so it's not that foam. And then we mount it to a board and we should be able to hang it up on the wall. Now I won't be able to hang it up on the wall until we have the faux brick wall up first. So hopefully in the next couple weekends we can get that done. And then we can hang up the sign. And I think it'll look really good. After the sign was glued and cut to size, we needed to figure out where the letters needed to be placed on the sign and how to route the LED strips through the actual sign. We worked on the placement of the letters as well as where to drill holes into the foam so we could feed the LEDs through the sign and behind the letters. Next, Nate drilled the holes out where the LEDs would go. Next was covering the sign in the peel and stick checkerboard paper I purchased. It took a bit of trial and error to get it right, but once I did, it looked great. Then we had to carve out the channels in the back of the sign to install the LEDs. This process was pretty quick, so we were able to start routing the LEDs in place in no time. So we had to stop after doing this today because Nate had to go to work, but it's looking really good. The letters are staying on here. They're secured, which is great. Still got to put some lights in the inside of the A. And then we just have the other letters and the other triangle to mount. So hopefully we'll get that done next weekend. Okay, so we'd only shown this before in our videos, and we decided not to time-lapse everything because it was the same process that we had to do. We did have an issue where we wrapped these things a little too tight over these first ones, and we had to take it all apart, buy a new set, and redo it, and be much more gentle with it. Plus, we were able to put the lights on the inside of the A, which we didn't do before, so that was kind of nice. But it is done. So here are the rest of the letters, and honey, they all light up now. Oh my gosh. So we don't have a place for this to go yet, but our next project will be trying to finish our damn arcade. So putting up the faux brick wall and arranging things, kind of getting rid of some things that are in there that we don't need. You hungry for some Applebee's? Yeah. But like having this done and actually having it work the way that I wanted to is pretty rad. Pretty freaking rad. Big props to Nate over there for all of the assist on this. Yeah. We'll catch you next time.